All right, I am taking the month of August to walk through the basics of getting your Dubsado set up, and today is day one. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about just the basic settings to make sure you have updated in your Dubsado to make sure you are good to go to build out everything else. I'm Lauren with The Smarter Creative. I am here to help creative entrepreneurs work smarter in their business instead of harder, and I'm so glad you found me. I put videos out every week, so be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and be the first to know when the next one is going live. All right, so the first thing that we are going to go and do is under the project section of your Dubsado, we are going to build out our project statuses and tags and everything else. You want to make sure all of those are there because that is your funnel. Your project statuses are where your leads become jobs. It's how you keep track of everybody. If you want to track someone like, hey, an inquiry was filled out, or a call was scheduled, or a proposal was sent, or they signed their contract, or they made a payment, whatever it is, like whatever your lead statuses are. And then in your job statuses, you have like a booked client or almost working client or whatever it is. If you work in stages of jobs, if you are a wedding photographer and you have like upcoming wedding, shooting this month, editing, delivering, waiting on physical products to come in, and then follow up. So you want to make sure you build out all those project statuses, keeping in mind that you are the one that's going to push them through those project statuses, or your workflow will do that. Oh, and PS, you can add emojis to your project statuses to make them just a little bit more fun. Love it. Now, inside of, this is a weird setting, but it's your email signature, and it's a key setting. So in your canned emails under templates, find the email signature setup spot. And here you can plug in like your name. If it's from a team, I would maybe not put the name in, and then you can sign off on the emails yourself. But if it's just you emailing people, put your name in there and then your email signature, ideally with a photo of yourself, maybe a link to your website or your social media, whatever it is, you want to build that out. And oh, by the way, I have a how to set up your Dubsado dashboard Notion magical piece of content that is coming your way soon, and I should have it ready by next week, but I actually have like a copy and paste way to put your email signature together, and it will walk you through all of these steps. So be on the lookout. You'll be the first to know when it's ready. But yeah, so your email signature. Now we need to set up our portal. So the portal is where you can customize your client landing spot for what it looks like. And below I have a link to a portal freebie to help you like set it up properly, make sure your images are the correct sizes, and that's going to be in your settings, and you have portal settings. And while you're there, you want to check your brand settings. Make sure your logo is updated. Make sure your color is updated. The color you set in your brand settings is going to be the color of all of your buttons in all of your emails. Yay. Okay, now while we're in settings, connect your payment processor. You need to get paid, honeys. You can connect either Stripe or Square, and then you can also connect PayPal. Those settings are completely up to you, what you would prefer. Everyone has their own like of maybe Stripe or Square, or maybe they do or do not want PayPal. I do not have a preference. Well, I do have a preference, but it doesn't matter. Just set up the one that you like. Stripe is my preference. It's a little bit cheaper on the fees. Whatever. PayPal isn't. I use PayPal for a convenience for my clients. Those fees are not super low, but it is a convenience, and I want it to be easy to work with me, so I like offering the PayPal as well. Now we want to add our custom domain. So this is, I would say you want to do this on the early side before you actually are up and running with your Dubsado, because it's going to change all of your links to your forms, to your schedulers, like whatever you've sent clients, it's going to adjust what all those links are. So instead of being portal.dubsado.whatever, and then it's like all the numbers and stuff, it's actually going to be your subdomain dot your domain, and then all of the numbers. So the beauty of having a domain set up that's customized to you is that your Dubsado is fully white labeled to you. Nowhere will the word Dubsado pop up at any point in your client experience. People just feel like they are on an extended point of your website. It's really nice. This is a feature that not all CRMs have. They might have it in some capacities, but not to the depth and the breadth that Dubsado has. So connecting your CNAME can be a little tricky. I know it is going to be wherever your domain is hosted, more than likely. So like I have my domain hosted by GoDaddy. It's where I bought it. It's where I pay like my annual amount for it. And then my website itself is hosted on Squarespace. But all my DNS settings are in GoDaddy. So I go to GoDaddy to make sure my DNS settings are updated to create a subdomain. And it's really not even a subdomain, honestly. It's just a CNAME to point this, whatever word it is. I chose portal. You could choose client. You could choose fun time, whatever. Whatever it is, that like sub part is that dot your domain dot co com org, whatever you got. So do that to fully white label, and then underneath that setting where your CNAME and your custom domain are set up is going to be your metadata information. So when you pull up a website, like what's going to be the favicon. If you text somebody a link to a Dubsado form, it will be like the photo that kind of comes up when a text goes out, or if a Facebook post goes out. You know how sometimes the URLs like pull a social image? You can add your own right there. And you can also change like the name of like what's in the title of the browser, and then like the meta description of your site. So even if you don't do your custom domain, like the CNAME's just too much, you don't really care about white labeling, definitely still update all that meta information to be completely on brand for you. Okay, now we need to connect our email address. So inside of our email setting, you can log into your Google account or your Windows account, or you can do like, so if you don't have one of those, maybe, I don't know who your email is hosted through, but you can use settings to connect it on the back end. I have 0 tips for that. I am a G Suite user, full bar. It's too easy. So I have no tips on how to do it. I'm sure somebody else does. So find that video if you're stuck. We need to set up our calendar. So the calendar is going to be a sign-in link again, similar to the email, but you have to do it again in your calendar settings. In this calendar setting, it's not under settings. You actually have to go on the left-hand panel of all your options where calendar is, and in there you have calendar settings and you can log in. And here's where we decide where we want to receive conflicting appointments into your Dubsado to see them and to make sure Dubsado doesn't schedule over them, and where you want Dubsado to push the appointments out to on what calendar. So for me, I have like my events calendar that I have all my Dubsado pushing out to, but I have Dubsado looking at a personal calendar of mine and my husband's to make sure there's no overlap on appointments being scheduled. So that is definitely a thing to do. And the way to do that, you can only connect one email account in your Dubsado. So for me personally, like I have my Smarter Creative email account, but then I also have my personal calendar account, like my personal Gmail account that I put all like my personal stuff on. So I had to share my personal calendar with my Smarter Creative calendar and give it full like read access. I might even give it read edit access, I don't know. But you want to share it with your work calendar that you're syncing into your Dubsado, and then your Dubsado will be able to read it. I know sometimes it can be a lot on your mobile device when there is like, you'll have duplicate appointments, because in your calendar on your phone, you connect to your personal login, your work login, and it's tracking all of those. But if you have either Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, you're able to say what events you want to actually show on your calendar. And then I just go in and I uncheck off if it's like my personal that's shared with my business, I uncheck off my personal that's shared with the business, because I don't need to see those. They're just there for reference for Dubsado, and it is an extra step, but I'm telling you, the backend system being like flawlessly smooth is worth taking the second to hit those check boxes and to get them off of your calendar so you're not seeing them double. It's fine. Just do it. Now, in integrations under your settings, you are going to set up your video conferencing to make sure you are connected to your Zoom account, your Google Meet account. If you don't have either of those and you don't really feel like paying for something, Dubsado uses 8x8 conferencing. For video conferencing, there's no app required. You and your client can both click on a link and be in a video call. The features on it are pretty limited, but if you are just looking to have a free way to have video chats with your clients, it's a great way to do it. Personally, I use Google Meet. I'm already paying for a G Suite account for my, email account. I upgraded it to the next plan up so I can have unlimited recording time, so I can record some of my sessions with my clients and share those afterwards for their reference to it. But you can do whatever works for you and your business, but there's a lot of options available to you. Just pick the right one that works for you. And so you guys, that is about it. There are more settings that you can do. There's more integrations that Dubsado has with like Zapier or with your accounting software. You can do those if you want. You do not have to. These were like the basic settings to make sure you are set up for the next part, which is going to be to actually think through your services and your offering and make sure what you're offering is actually built out and automated. So next week, we're going to talk about just like your overall client journey, how to write it down, how to track it, how to think through it. Then we're going to build out the processes for it week 3. And then week 4, we are going to actually build out our workflows. Probably not all the workflows together, but I will do one for you to see how to do it. And you will be ready to rock, to build it out yourself. And like I said, I've got my dashboard, Notion, Dubsado workflow dashboard that's just beautiful, and I cannot wait to share it with you. But until that day, I will see you guys next week.